I have totally failed at terraforming numerous times up until this point. Like, I've changed my entrance at least 4 times, let's say. And I love it now. I think this is spectacular. I might change it again in the future, though. Who knows? But my philosophy for terraforming, what I did before, which I think was bad, at least for me, you might find great success in doing things differently than me, but I want to tell you what I just found out is successful and that works for me, because I've always found that I build something and then I immediately tear it down and change it. Previously, I have thought that you have to take the island as a whole and plan it out all at once, and then try to fit all these pieces together that you plan out. But that's too much. It's overwhelming. You can't do it. I also really liked symmetry, and yeah, that was hard because resident services is an even number of blocks and the museum is an odd number of blocks. And so what I wanted to do was like have the museum on the opposite side of the island as resident services, and then have like the Nook store and the shop. Anyway, things relatively symmetrical, but couldn't do it because also the Nook store is an odd number of squares, and Mabel Sisters is even, something like that. Anyway, it's impossible to have a totally symmetrical island with anyway, whatever, the way I wanted to do it. And so that didn't work, and so I decided, screw symmetry, let's go totally unsymmetrical. Let's go natural, even though that's literally what everybody else is doing these days. But I also thought, Animal Crossing kind of lends itself not so much to like a cityscape type environment. Like you have more options to make your island natural, in my opinion. And so that's what I'm doing. So anyway, instead of taking the island as a whole, what you gotta do is take the island in teensy weensy little parts. What I mean by that is, instead of thinking like, okay, resident services is up here and I have to plan out everything all at once between here and resident services. False. What you do instead, or what I'm finding is successful so far, is just do the entrance. So what I did personally first is I thought I want a sideways bridge at the entrance. That was my only goal. Sideways bridge, boom. Because I've seen a lot of videos that looked really cool where like there was a river coming out of these rocks, whatever, and went somewhere. And there was a straight bridge, like right here. But I wanted to be a little unique and wanted a diagonal bridge because I used to exclusively like straight bridges. Now I like diagonal bridges. I think they're way more unique and they're cool and they make interesting like paths to walk. So I thought, sideways bridge, boom. So I built this little river, didn't connect it to anything. As you can see, it just ends right here. That's all I've done so far with the river. I just wanted the sideways bridge. And then I thought, I want this to go that way up towards resident services. And I did the bridge facing this direction, this way, instead of going that way, because I wanted it to take a longer amount of time to zigzag through to get to resident services. And so I thought, this path needs to go up this way. I wanted another bridge. I want a whole lot of bridges here because I think they're really aesthetic and pretty. But then I thought, with this little river here by the entrance, I probably need to put a cliff by it. And so then I built this thing. And then I thought, you know what? It would be awesome to put another path zigzagging back around to the beach. So then I made this path, and the funny thing is about the Nook store here, as a matter of fact, this was the spot that I moved it to get out of the way from where it was previously. And I thought that was just going to be a temporary spot before I find a more permanent location for it. But then I moved, or I started building everything around it, and I thought, you know, what a unique spot for Nook's Cranny. I've never seen anybody else put it quite like this, like in the corner. And I've got a little space in the back to put boxes and like, you know, I have like a bed and then a table and some boxes on top and then like a trash can and whatever, and I might build that out more later. And then I just went from there. I thought that was a super cool space to keep Nook's shop. Because I think in this game, when you limit yourself, it forces you to become more creative. That's what I'm seeing for me anyway. And so if you're having trouble, what is that? Was that always there? If you're having trouble terraforming, that's what I recommend you do.